Hi and welcome to Karmaspiritus. My name is T. No, I'm not a traditional tarot reader. I read the energies of the cards or may just get into the cards. It just depends, whatever comes up. Please remember I am a channel for the energies and the messages that come up. There may be a message here for you for something ongoing. This is for August, but it may be ongoing or just something that you need to hear to help you on your life's journey. Please receive these messages with love and light. And with that, I will get into your reading, Aquarius. I have been dealing with some Mercury retrograde issues, I must say. So, I've actually tried to do this video a couple of times. It hasn't quite happened. And while I've got it going good, I will leave these cards up. This is what you got. They are wonderful cards. The energy feels great. So we will continue with those. I hope you don't mind. So I feel that there is a great time coming for you, Aquarius, if you want it. This clearly does look like a relationship reading. But I mean, it could be in any form of a relationship. Also, the Faith card, this is the Faith card, that could be about religious beliefs or anything of that nature. So, but we'll see what we get as I connect with the cards. Aquarius, this feels really exciting. It feels, I hear what you've been waiting for. So this energy can be just perfect for you if you allow it to be. And it feels as if it's ordained, it's ready, it's been a long time coming. You've been trying to connect with this energy on and off for some time. Even though Aquarians like their freedom, they're free-spirited, they like to have, when I say their own way, it sounds like they're being spoiled, but not their own way in that respect. Just to do what they feel like doing. And that's not despite anybody or anything, but they're very sure of the things they need to do in their life. And if they don't do it, they will absolutely feel out of place. And sometimes it's best to just allow an Aquarian within reason to feel free and to be that really individual person that they are, and allow them to make their own mistakes and make their own decisions. And that may sound strange as adults, but some other signs are quite easily influenced, or maybe go with the crowd or go with what's suitable for somebody else, and may conform to rules or regulations or whatever they are, restrictions. And you'll find that Aquarians, they like to think out of the box and do their own thing within reason. So this is a time that they have been waiting for, you've been waiting for. You started to develop, and I feel that you started. There's times when you've got, I'm hearing angry and confused about what exactly needs to take place. And sometimes that Aquarian flair or their desire to live a single life or have an element of freedom that possibly other people may not enjoy, it can get in the way. It can get in the way of the relationship, although on one hand they really do want it. I'm also feeling that it's been a long time coming since Aquarius has been able to speak up. Maybe you haven't been able to speak up in some ways. There's been things going on in your relationships that you've been concerned about, but you felt that you didn't have the right, or maybe if you spoke up, you might have said something quite out of place. Therefore, you've restricted what you've said, and that restricts your creativity as well. That restricts how you feel about life, how you feel about the people that you're connecting with, the relationships you have with others. It does affect that because, as I said, the element of freedom is being restricted, being confined. And then you start to feel out of place, you know, not yourself, like, you know, like a fish out of water, like on this Ace of Cups here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune upright, we've got Faith, which is the Hierophant, we've got the Ace of Cups, and we've got the King of Cups as well here at the end. Lovely illustrations on these cards. Hope you can see them. It's been a very turbulent time in general, in the workplace, in the home environment, in relationships as a whole with people. You feel as though you can't trust people. There's people that you had faith in, you had trust in, and they've let you down. And that's devastating. I'm not just saying for Aquarians, but it's just absolutely demoralizing feeling to have to experience. And I'm sorry that you've been having such a tough time, Aquarius, but I feel that things are definitely getting better. I think you were destined to have better things happening in your life, better relationships, better opportunities, better situations. But I feel that you had lessons to learn. There were things that you needed to put in place, come to terms with, agree with within your soul, and things that you needed to achieve as well. And see if you were tolerant enough, your tolerance level, whether you were able to sustain these things that you so desired. And I think there's been a time there's been a period of time now where you've struggled with different aspects of life in general. And I feel that's because you've been struggling with different aspects of your sign. And I think you've come to terms with now that they're not really restrictions as you would feel they are. They're things that you need to accept or can accept for longevity in your relationships or your situation at work. You may have gone now on your destiny, on your path to your future in the occupation that you have now. And now that wheel is turning. You've had faith in yourself, and other people have had faith in you as well. And now you've actually reached the time of real joy, happiness, and abundance, love, just an element of absolute contentment within your lives and the areas of which you have been really, really fighting for. And probably battling yourself in your head as well. Not knowing which way to turn, not sure about the direction to go in, who to trust, if this relationship is for the long haul. You want it to be free, but you also want to be in your relationship. And it's taken a while to realize that when you allow yourself to be content in your relationship, that mirrors on your with your partner as well. If you decide to definitely go down that path, whatever that is, whether that's in your occupation, and put your heart, your mind and your soul into it, it starts to happen. When you decide to speak up, because my throat is excuse me, constantly feeling irritated. When you decide to speak up, you now receive the truth. You now get that green go card, because that's what the universe, the energy was waiting for you to do. Speak up, be honest, be truthful. Really get in line with what makes you feel comfortable and what makes you feel free within your relationship, within that role at work, within this new business that you're running that is so busy, but you're so passionate about. You finally started to tap into the level of communication which is true to you, true to your inner self, that integrity. You've now started to align yourself to what matters, and it's okay to be an individual. It's okay to be a little bit different. And that partner in that organization that you've built, the business that you've built, that family member that you've had differences with, you now realize that once you align yourself in your truth, doors open up, opportunities come, people warm to you, they get you, they understand where you're coming from. And maybe all that time you felt that they knew exactly what you were thinking, exactly how anybody would think. But when it comes down to it, you've realized that everybody is very unique and individual, just like you. Excuse me. And if you don't voice your opinions and let your truth be heard, no one will ever know. Once you start feeling comfortable in your skin, aligning yourself with your truth, standing in your power and your convictions about how you want things to be, and what's hurting you, what's upsetting you, the things that are not making you feel good. What makes you feel like, a fish out of water? Your beliefs, what you believe in. This is now a path to complete fulfillment in different areas of your life. And I feel it's taken that heartfelt discussion with your inner self, your higher self, the people around you that count, to tap into what your heart feels. I feel like you've melted, Aquarius. I feel like whether you've had that support, maybe it's from a Piscean, you've got the wheel here, that's Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio. I think the Hierophant is also Taurus. There's lots of different signs here. But 2 strong Piscean cards. I feel that you've now connected with the right person, people, group, organization, business. And now you've found faith again. Faith in yourself, faith in your situation and now your destiny. You were searching all this time. You were so unsure about your partner. You were so unsure about the situation you're in, where you've moved to, that new job, that new team. But you needed to believe in yourself, Aquarius. Your intuition, your passion, your confidence has built now through all those knocks, all those brushes, all that pain that you felt. I feel there's been so many tears. You know, your cup runneth over. There's been so many emotions. You lost faith in yourself and your situation, and you were not even sure of the decisions that you'd made, whether you should stick to them, whether you should be dedicated to that partner, take that promotion or stay in the job that you're in, move sideways or just go somewhere else. But now you've connected with yourself in every way. You started to feel very content, happy, and you haven't done that for a long time. Peaceful, loving. You've connected with your heart. You've realized why you got in this situation in the first place. The love that you shared initially, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here. You've decided to dedicate some time, air your views, stand in your convictions and become confident about what you are able to say and how to say it. And I believe that's with love. Sometimes we can get so caught up in our heads, Aquarius, not knowing which way to go, what to do, how to do it, multiple ways of saying the same thing or doing the same thing or having the same result. But what we forgot to do was go within. Connect to who you truly are, what you truly want. That passion that you've always had inside you. You've connected with it and it feels So good. Well done. The question is now, Aquarius, are you able to stay consistent? And within that consistency, what continues to make you happy? Your desire and your destiny, the things that you're passionate about, the convictions that you want to continue to stand in, shouldn't have to fade away to conform with others. Aquarius, be yourself. Be your true, authentic self. And saying that, I mean, if you want commitment, truth, love, dedication, an honest business partner, put that work in as well. Be consistent in what you're doing. Or what's going to make you feel like you want to continue to stay on this path? Because you can still be yourself. You can still have your goals. Do whatever you want to do that is your passion. If it's something quite eccentric and strange, or just so-called different, unique, I like to call it, Aquarius, because you are unique. There's nothing wrong with that. If your partner, as I said, whether that's business or relationship or family, feels that same level of consistency and contentment within the relationship that you have with them, your freedom and your uniqueness still stands. And you have to be unique, free-spirited, and feel an element of liberation for you to be happy, Aquarius. Restriction is not necessarily for you. Not within a relaxed and loving environment. Not within partnerships that are heartfelt and connecting with people because you truly want to be there. You need that freedom to be you. Sustain that. Keep it. But don't go too left-wing to do it. Be your unique self. Don't try and change who you are completely because somebody else doesn't quite understand who that is. Speak up. Speak up and say, this is what I like. This is what I like to do. On a regular basis, in my free time, whenever I want to. And this is what makes me feel good. This is what allows me to continue feeling happy and content. These are the elements of freedom that I need in my life at certain times to remain happy. Because this life is very much about you. Your life is about you. And in order for you to reach your destiny, to be your unique self, to not conform in the way that others may feel you need to just speak up, expressive, to the point, but with love, and be reassured and be that reassurance for that other person. So I'm here to reassure you that, Aquarius, that you do absolutely need your freedom. You do need to speak up. And it's funny, when you decide to speak up and be honest and speak from your heart and speak your truth, people do accept it. But it's when you're doing what they feel is obscure stuff, weird things, you're acting quite, as if you're not in this partnership or relationship or team or business, and you're going off and doing your own thing, which Aquarius, you're brilliant at doing, is when maybe that element of trust becomes a grey area. So speak up and be honest about exactly what's going on from day to day, moment to moment. Just be open. Look at that as part of your freedom and your expression, and you will feel good. But why didn't you speak up all that time? What is it that made you keep things inside? Let's see. I see boats on a lake, canoes, water sports, just different activities that you were involved in. And there was times when you went out in this activity and it was cold and it was raining. You were already tired and you were forced to go. These classes have already been paid for. You're halfway through one of the certificates, but you just can't be asked. You just can't take anymore. You've tried telling your parents that you're not feeling well. That worked for 1 or 2 lessons. You tried to get home late, so in turn they couldn't take you down to this activity, but they just took you anyway, and it just meant that you were embarrassed when you got there. You tried to forget your equipment, but they had spares that were smelly and dirty, definitely not your colour. then you try to pretend that you didn't really know what you were doing. And the instructor just couldn't understand why you would forget, because it appeared so simple. So they had a word with your parents when they came to pick you up, and that was the worst thing ever. So you got a grilling when you all the way home, when you got in the car. You wanted to just eat your crisps in the back of the car. You're cold, you're exhausted, you're bored, and now you've got to listen to this. Why? All the other kids that you see in the daytime, they're doing some really good activities that they love. Then they ask you about yours, and you just sort of look down, just say, yeah, it's okay. They really want to hear about this sport that you're doing and how good it is, and where you go and do it, and can they come and watch you? And you make every excuse underneath the sun as to why they can't come, and you just can't explain about it. You're so glad when it comes to half term, but your parents have enrolled you in a half term course doing the same activity over and over and over again. You couldn't think of anything worse. This is a sport that your parents have always enjoyed. Something they did as children, and they're very passionate about. Yes, it's different, but they enjoyed it. So you go along to this activity every day, and you are fit to burst. You start to get very distracted. You're on the river and things are just going wrong. You're not concentrating. You're not listening. You're not joining in with the rest of the team. And it's just becoming a disaster. Aquarius, what do you do now? So of course, the instructor's gone to talk to the parents as per usual. Your parents are there, as they are regularly. And you can see the instructor going over. And this is now your worst nightmare, because you know when you get in that car you are gonna get it. This time the instructor's not discreet at all. He's talking and he's actually a little bit distraught in his voice. He just doesn't know what to do anymore. Instead of you going forward and achieving so much more in this activity and passing your certificate that you're doing, he's saying that you'll have to retake. This is bad, Aquarius. So you get dressed slowly. You're thinking of all the things you could possibly say that you just can't be bothered to say. But you're trying to formulate a little plan, you know, just put a few sentences together so you can answer appropriately. But deep down, you just can't be bothered. On the way home, you always see this group doing horse riding, and you just look across that field and wonder how it would feel to be free with the wind in your hair on top of that horse. You see all the group enjoying themselves, happy, elated. I mean, you just can't believe how much fun they're having. You go home, you dream about being on top of a horse, riding out into the sunset and feeling that freedom. You've got so lost in this vision that you've actually not listened to a word your parents are saying, because believe me, they are going at it. You're in big trouble. You've now realised that you were supposed to answer like 5 minutes ago and you haven't said a word. You've now got your mum looking at you, fuming, and they can see that you are so distracted. You're just looking out the window and it looks as if you just don't care. Your mum shouted at the top of her voice at you and you're in such shock. Those shock waves have gone right through your system. You almost feel your heart skip a beat and you burst into tears. You are beside yourself. Aquarius, your mum's quite shocked. They've never really seen you cry like that over you being in the wrong and you sort of not listening, and they're telling you off for it. They've never seen this response before. So they decide to wait until you get home. But your dad's now realised that your mum's gone quiet and now he's starting to have a go at you. So you cry even more. Now both of them have never heard you cry like this. You are just absolutely, your heart is just totally deflated. You're in pain. Your chest is tight. Your tears are just flowing all the way down your cheeks, under your chin, down into your top. It's really heart-wrenching. You're just so upset. So you've got home, they've sat you down because they realise that there's much more to this. So they've given you your favourite drink, a couple of biscuits, just for you to lighten up because you just couldn't stop crying. You're still sobbing, still drawing deep breaths, but you're managing to sip a bit of your drink and have a bite of your biscuit. Your mum sits down and she says, look, what's going on? You have just snapped. You've gone from sobbing to shouting and screaming at the top of your voice, and then the tears are coming on top of that, and the words are not coming out the way they need to, and you're just going full force. Your mum's absolutely shocked. She's just never ever seen this behaviour from you ever. She's asked you again, all right, calm down. Don't speak to me like that. Calm right down and tell me exactly what's going on with you. This is just not normal. You feel a lump in your throat. Your chest is still tight. But you have no choice. You just need to say what's on your mind. But now you're full of sorrow. You're so worn out. You're at the end of your tether. All those classes. You just had enough. And you just decided, I have to tell them exactly what's going on for me. So you pour your heart out. You tell them you've never wanted to do this sport. It's so restrictive. You go every week and you just want the freedom. You don't want to be on water. You don't fancy being around those people. You don't like the instructor and the way he speaks to you. This whole activity just doesn't work. Your mum's in shock, but she needs to know more. You tell her every time you go, your stomach is in knots. You've made excuses not to go. You've forgotten your equipment on purpose. And you've even come home late from school because you're hoping that they'll just say, you're too late. Your mum has never, ever heard you say anything about this before. And she's so shocked, she just needs to listen. And she's realised from what you're saying that she's never listened to you, asked you what you want. What activities do you enjoy? They just automatically thought you want to do the same thing that they've done and carry the mantle. But no, that's not the truth. So, your mum's quite accepting of all this new information. And more to the point, how upset you are. So she's actually asked you, well, what do you want to do? And you've chirped up, horse riding. She says she's going to speak to your dad, speak to the instructor, stop your activity that you're doing and look into some horse riding. Well, that's it. You are so happy. You are so content. But your mum says she's not promising you, but she'll have a look into it. The next time you go to your activity, it doesn't actually feel so bad after all. You look at the instructor shouting the orders, and then you sort of realise, yeah, their voice is a bit harsh, but they have to shout. Otherwise, the people over there won't hear them. And actually, you feel kind of good on the water, doing this activity, splashing around, having some form of control over what you're doing, and mastering and using your experience. And you realise that actually, I love being on water. I like challenging sports. There's a real art to this. Not everyone can do this. I'm different. The instructor's obviously keeping an eye on you now. And they've realised that you've really enjoyed the session. So when you're packing up, changing your clothes, getting ready to go home, they say, well done. You've done really well this week. And you have a real talent. Keep up the good work. Well, you are elated. You are so happy. Number one, you enjoyed every minute of that. Number two, the instructors come to you and told you how good you really are. And number three, you absolutely loved the whole experience. You get in the car and your mum and dad decide to discuss with you now about the opportunity of going to do this horse riding. And you tell them, actually, I'm really enjoying this activity, and I spoke to the instructor came over to me and they said I am really good and to keep up the good work. So I think I'll stick at this. Well, your mum and dad couldn't be even more pleased. Everybody in the car went home, completely different energy, so happy. They get to see you doing their favourite sport and you're actually enjoying it. You just needed to make your mind free enough to enjoy it. There was never any restrictions on you. Your parents were never forcing you to do it. They just felt you wanted to do it and it would be good for you. And you've actually found out, Aquarius, that it is. Well done. So in your present day, it's not about the task, the monotony, the routine. It's about you being who you want to be, having that freedom of expression, whether it's in communicating verbally or through physically, through an activity, through whichever channel. But as long as you feel free in what you are doing, you'll find your passion, you'll find your love. That person that you're with could never restrict you. You've allowed them to. That job has never kept you going, even though you don't like it. You made that decision because you could always do something else. That business partner, maybe they don't feel like they can trust you because you've never demonstrated or voiced your willingness to be trusted, or shown them that it's important and it's part of your integrity. But you just need to be free in your expression within the company. And they need to listen to your thoughts, your views, your opinions, because this is something you are destined to do. As long as you have freedom, you're okay. So, Aquarius, whether this is a business partnership and you feel there's restrictions and there's a routine and a rut that you're in and you need to try something else, it might be a little bit risky, but you've weighed up the pros, the cons, and you can deliver that to your business partner and have the freedom of your expression within that, go ahead and do it. If this is a family member that you feel have been restricting you and making you conform within the family routines, you're in that environment with them, you're not relaxed, speak up. Feel free to express who you are. You may find out that you're quite like-minded and there's opinions and views that you can share with them that they can relate to. If you're with that partner and you feel that within this relationship you need to conform to the structure and routine, tradition within the marriage, within the relationship, and you still need an element of your freedom, uniqueness, hobby, activity, and it's not hurting the love that you have for them and the relationship that you've built, speak up. You have to be free-spirited, free in your choices within your confines of your life, whatever that is. Aquarius, you need the freedom. You need the love without restrictions. You need to be free. So Aquarius, realize that no matter what structured situation you're in, relationship you're in, business deal, transaction, family, religion, you are always free to make choices. And that within yourself, within your mind, you will always be free. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't feel as if you are completely different from the rest, because you're not. There's an element of freedom everyone needs. But Aquarians most definitely need an element of freedom within their ideals and their everyday life. It's important. No matter what structure or routine they're in, there needs to be freedom of expression, thought, and behavior. So Aquarius, go ahead and feel free. I would love to see you guys again. Please like, share, subscribe. If you feel there's anybody that needs to hear this message, please share it with them. They don't have to be Aquarians. They just have to need to hear this message, and that's all. So safety in numbers. So please tell your friends. As I said, like, share, subscribe. This is a very general reading. So Aquarius, if you want a personal reading, I'll be most happy to supply that for you. All my contact details are down in the description box. Please help yourself to them. And thank you so much so far for all the support I've had. It's been amazing, fantastic. Thank you for the clients that have come to me, and I love you guys. This is really, really special to me. So thank you so much for fulfilling my passion as well. And please remember, be true to thyself. Be true. Take care, Aquarius.